Hello, folks. Noah Hunter here. A few more of my canoe trips I made in my younger days. I got one that was. I'm thankful to God that I'm alive right now. I mean, it was the closest I've ever come dying. And the story starts like this. Went on Black Creek Wreck like that. They didn't really have rapids and chutes and stuff like that. So we decided we want to do some whitewater canoeing. Well, Max looked up a bunch of different places, and it was a place, I think it was called Okatoma, something like that. Crazy name. I can't even pronounce the Indian name. It was either before we got to Jackson or it was north of Jackson. I can't really remember. We drove a pretty good while. We had two vehicles, had both canoes. No, only had one canoe, so only took one vehicle. No, we took two vehicles, but just one canoe. Well, we stopped and left the canoe at one place because we had a map and everything, knew where everything was. We drove on up probably about 15, 20 miles, and that's where we put the canoe in. Well, crystal clear water, beautiful, beautiful little creek, river, whatever you want to call it. I think it was river. Anyway, we went through 4 or 5 sets of rapids and stuff, nothing bad, just enough to get you a little excited, really nice, enjoying ourselves. We'll pull over to the side of the bank every now and then and get out, get in the water, and allow our chairs to cool down, get a bite to eat, maybe drink a beer or so. And we get to come around a little bit further, and we come to, it's like a solid wall of bedrock all the way across. And the water was running over about that high, like a little waterfall. Well, right in the middle, they had a chute that was worn in that bedrock. That chute was probably, I don't know, about 3.5, 4 foot wide, about that deep with the water in it. And then went right on down. I went through it the first time, pulled over the sand. There was a sandbar right there. And then here come Action Shield. They shot through it, pulled over there. I said, that's fun. I said, let's do it again. I said, let's take some of the stuff out of the canoes. They ain't as heavy. So we unloaded the canoes. All I had left in mine was 2 folding lounge chairs, about 30 foot, a quarter inch long rope, and my tennis shoes. That was all I had in my canoe. Well, we picked it up and put it over the little waterfall there and waded up pretty close to the edge of the bank, waded all the way up there, and we jumped the canoes. Here we go. Right out in the middle, hit that chute again. We done that 2 or 3 times. We were having a ball. I mean, it was fun. When you go up through that chute, it's like being on a water slide almost. And I even thought about just going down it on my back. I had that in mind. Next time I'm done with the canoe, then I was going to go down it on my back, just like in a water slide, And Max and Shield, they were thinking the same thing too. Well, I'll tell you what, that next time we went down it, I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I think when I went to shove the canoe at the paddle slipped on that rock when it did. It threw me to the side, and I seen the canoe was going to turn over, and it threw her off balance, and she was going. So I just jumped out in the chute, hoping the canoe would straighten up. Well, I wasn't excited that. When I went down that chute, I just kept calm. I thought I'd just go down there and kick bottom. Come, I figured it would be up like 6, 7 foot deep at the most, Tell you what, I kept going down and down and down. I couldn't swim up. There was too much undertow on me. And I got down, it had to be at least 20 foot. I remember looking, no way see any kind of daylight or nothing. And that doggone undertow had me jammed up against that rock wall like this. So I finally managed to turn myself, no way to swim, you couldn't swim up. I turned myself around, and I got my finger, and I clawed myself up that rock wall. And I remember thinking to myself, well, I'm not going to make it. It's going to be the end of me. And I said, I'd love to just be with my family a little bit longer. If you could, God, let me live a little bit longer. And by that time, I could barely see like a little twinkle of light up there. So I knew I had to be getting fairly close to the surface. So I give it all I had. I give it all I had, kicking, paddling, climbing on the wall, just anything I could. And when I broke the surface, I was letting my air out. I couldn't hold it no longer. Now, to show you how long I was down, I almost out down at least 3 minutes, because when the canoe turned over, my wife remembered me telling her, if the canoe ever turned over deep water, I said, the canoe will not sink. Just get a hold to the canoe. Well, she was out there. She was grabbing it. It was turning like the canoe just beating her to death. but she was still hanging on to it because she was panicky too. Can't swim real good. Max and Sheila was on the sandbar. They shoved the canoe out, jumped in the canoe, and come over and got her and drove the canoe and her back to the sandbar before I come up. And to show you what kind of suction they had there, and aluminum folding chairs, lounge chairs, with a hinge, the rivets are tight fitting. Because we used to sit out in the river all the time when we was canoeing. We would sit out there in the river and cool down. It takes a long time for them water leak around them little rivets off and weight that down enough for the sink. Both them chairs went down. My tennis shoes went down and the rope went down. We never did find them. They never did come back up. So I show you what kind of undertow it was there. Well, most of the trip, it wasn't no deeper down. I mean, you can see the bottom. It was beautiful. We left there. We all had our life jackets on. The water went that deep. We had our life jackets on. And down we come. See, we went up there to check it out because we thought about the next trip. But we decided right then, nah, we don't want to bring them kids up on this. So we're probably about halfway down to the truck, and we pulled over to the side, get something to eat. And at that time, me and Max both smoked. We smoked a cigarette. Sitting there, and here come a young man in the canoe by himself. He put up the sandbar and says, "Can I buy some cigarettes off y'all or something?" He says, "I lost all my cigarettes and everything." He says, "Up that way there's a chute." He said, "And my canoe got turned over and I hanged on to it, but all my stuff went down." I said, "Yeah, I like to drown that very chute." I said, "Yeah, we got the cigarettes, so we give him a whole pack, you know." He said, "I know some friends." He says, "You would not believe the stuff they get out of there." He says, "There's several of these chutes on this river. They'll take that entire rope around somebody and have scuba gear on. They go down." He said, "They find guns, cameras, all kind of stuff." He said, "And there's been a few people that's drowned." I said, "I'm one right here. If I hadn't been able to hold my breath as long as I did, I'd be dead right now." Well, folks, all I got to tell you is, if it's something unknown, check it out first. That's what we should have done. We had no idea that all the shallow water we'd been paddling through, that the water would be that deep there, you know. But it was. But thank the good Lord I made it. All right. I think I got about one more I'm going to tell today. And I think I'll jump out and end my show for today. But all I want to say is just remember, folks, life is awful short, but death is forever. Go get your shots.